All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. Lots of familiar people in the chat here. Good to see you. It's Friday here for me, Friday morning, and I'm coming to you live from Vancouver, from the Canadian College of English Language, of course. Oh, everybody's saying hi to me. Hello, hello. Oh, you guys, people are talking about the president. Yes, yeah, I guess I have competition today. Maybe there's something important happening right now that that people are watching. But wow, lots of people here. French Leo is here. Hi. Leo Daki. We got two Leos today. Alejandra's here. Everyone's saying hi, hi, hi. Good to see you. If you are new to the class, if this is your first time, hi, I'm Shaun, and I'm going to be your teacher for the next hour or so, all right? Yeah, people, a lot of you, it's Friday night for you, right? TGIF, Steve Lynn says. Good morning. Painkiller, Carla, wow. Everybody's here. Good. Okay, so as I said, if you're new, welcome. If you're one of the old faithfuls, the usual suspects, welcome back. It's always good to see you here on Friday. If you have questions during the class, just make sure you put your questions or comments in the chat, and I will try to answer your questions as quickly as I can, as often as I can. Okay, guys? So let's jump into the lesson. Let's get started. Everybody looks excited. I'm excited too. All right. So today we are going into, once again, kind of Unit 7. And Unit 7 in 120, and I should say for anyone who's new, right, that this is a intermediate level class. But if you're higher, if you're lower, that's okay. You can join, that's fine. Okay, so Juan is saying he's late. No, you're not late, Juan. You're right on time. Perfect timing. Saif is from Pakistan. Hello from Pakistan. Indonesia. Wow. Okay. All right, so Unit 7 is what we've been working on for the last few weeks. And we're going to continue with that. So the theme of the unit is art and music. Okay, art and music. So I've been getting a lot of questions this week from our students about some of the vocabulary in this unit. So I thought that we would start today by looking at some of the key vocabulary from the Unit 7 on art and music. So some of the words we're going to look at today will be related to music and art, but not entirely. Okay? And then we will get into kind of a writing grammar type lesson on a common mistake that students make. Okay? All right, Jundi saying, again, art and music? Yeah, well, there's lots to talk about with art and music, Jundi. Yeah. Okay. Peter, you say you're pre-intermediate? That's okay. That's okay. Carla, you like vocabulary? Good. Okay, so let me get into my presentation here, guys, okay? If you're a premium subscriber, okay, you can go into the vocabulary section down here, okay? If not, just hang out and watch me, and I'll go into it here. Judy, you love art? Good. I'm into saying subject-verb agreement. We'll talk about that later, definitely. Patience. We got lots of time. Lots of time. Okay? All right. So in today's class, as I said, I'd like to start with some key vocabulary. All right? Asking, who is he? I'm not sure who Jindy's talking about. Okay. You guys are funny. All right, so let's go into it. as I said, I'm going to talk about a few keywords, not too much. I'll get you guys doing some work here today too. But as I said, both of the things that we're going to talk about today in class is because I've been getting lots of questions from our students about this stuff, about these terms, these words. So let's go through them together. All right? So the first word we'll talk about today is admire, right? The verb to admire someone or something, right? When you admire a person, it's really about respect, okay? When you admire someone, you respect them for something they have done, right? This week, obviously, talking about art and music, oftentimes you can admire an artist or a musician who you respect, right? Oh, and this is already some good example sentences coming in here, right? You admire me as a teacher? Yeah, well, thank you. I admire your effort in this class, okay? And Shubham is saying you admire my effort. Okay. So yeah, let's look at an example sentence here, right? I really admire, where'd that go? I really admire you for all the work you do with helping the poor, right? I respect you. I have a strong feeling of respect. Nor is saying appreciate. And yeah, it's very connected to that, appreciate and admire, okay? And even, I'm already going to jump out of the presentation and go in here. So admire, as we're saying, you can admire a person, right? For example, you guys are saying you admire an artist or something. You admire me, maybe, okay? But you can also admire a thing, right? So someone said something like, I admire your positive attitude, right? I admire your positive attitude. Kaya was saying he admires nature. Absolutely, and this is about respect and appreciation, okay? But it's also important, especially when we're talking about art, right? Admire has another meaning, which is appreciate, as Nor said, kind of to look at something, right? So to look at something attractive or impressive, right, is to admire. So you can admire paintings, or you can admire art, or if you could say, I admired the view from the mountain, right? So in this case, you appreciate it. You look at it for a long time, and it's beautiful. Amit admires negativity. Okay. You admire my way of teaching? Well, thank you. I admire your way of studying. Right. But yeah, when you're talking about art, as some of you guys are saying already, this is a word that comes up a lot. What kind of art do you admire? Who are some people that you admire, is my question to you, right? So that's our first word. Ariana is saying you can admire everything and everyone. You could. Yeah, you could admire anything you want, basically. All right. So that's admire. Ariane, you admire painting? Yeah, sure. Okay. So again, in terms of music and art, another word that people have been asking me questions about is the word album, right? An album's a tricky one because it kind of changes over time, but it really means a collection of songs, right? A collection of music together in one form, okay? Now, obviously in this picture we have CDs, right? So for a while, albums were on CD. Before that, they were on other things, right? I mean, if you say, for example, a cassette tape, right? At one point, we would listen to albums on these guys. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. But obviously, we don't do that as much anymore. Exactly. Now, French Leo, that's exactly right. So, album, oops.
Exiting narrator.
Album can mean a collection of other things as well. So, a photo album is a collection of photographs, right? A photograph album, as Alejandro's saying. Exactly. Good. All right. So you could even say, what's an album that you admire? Okay. I don't think I would say an album of memory. All right. So Steve Lynn is saying, this is what he's saying. I have some of Michael Jackson's albums. Right? Now the album itself could be in any form. It could be on CD. It could be in cassette. It could be on a record. Right? It could be one of these guys. This could be an album as well. Nowadays, you can buy an album on iTunes, right? It's not physical. You can't touch it, but it's still an album because it's a collection of songs, right? So here's another example sentence. Have you heard Bruno Mars's new album? I don't know if he has a new album. Carla's saying, long play, that's right, the LP. Nor an album of love? I'm not sure what that would be. I'm not sure. Oh, that's coming from, I think that's coming from Vivek. Rosa Casiero has all of Michael Jackson's albums. Yeah, cool. Good. So I could say this. Here's a question for the chat. What's an album that you got this year? Well, this year's kind of early, right? It's only January of 2017. But what was the last album that you bought or downloaded? Steve Lynn, movie soundtracks. Good. All right. All right. Next word. Well, here's a band, very famous, the Beatles. Safe Adam's album. Safe Adam. I don't know if I know Safe Adam. I don't know if that makes me uncool. I'm not sure. Okay. All right. So the next word, breakup. All right. Now, most of you know breakup to mean the end of a relationship, right? Kind of like the end of a romance. French Leo, Take 5, Dave Brubeck. That is a great album. Yeah, I like that one too. Now, break up, the end of a romance. My girlfriend and I broke up. Not me, but as an example. Okay. Alejandro got Alicia Keys' album. Nice. Rosa gets her albums from YouTube. Of course you do. Cool. All right. So breakup it's not just for romance, though. It can be for business. It can be for partnerships. Christian Gallo saying to split up. That's right. To split up is to break up. Ahmed saying, I broke up with my girlfriend in 2013. Yeah, well, I'm sorry about that. I mean, that was 4 years ago, so hopefully you're feeling better now. All right, so about this band, because we're talking about music, it says all of the members of the Beatles started solo careers when the band broke up in 1970. So if a band breaks up, it means they stop playing together. Yeah. Okay, so Hytham is asking a good question. He's saying, is breakup equals divorce? Is the question coming in? Right? All right, there we go. So breakup equals divorce. Why is it? Why Google? Why are you? Okay, there we go. All right. Breakup, divorce. Yeah, but usually, I mean, it's the same idea, but we usually don't say break up. Really, for a marriage, we say the end of a marriage or the divorce, right? Breakup. We usually use breakup for people who are not married. Carla's saying separation. Yeah, right. Yeah. But you can say the breakup of a marriage, but you wouldn't normally say he and his wife broke up. We don't usually say that, although if you said that, everyone would understand it. You would probably say got a divorce, right? Or, as Carla said, separated. He and his wife separated. Divorce, yeah, that's a good point too, because Amit is saying that divorce is a legal thing, right? Breakup isn't necessarily legal. Yeah, Alejandro's saying yes. I know. I I always talk about sad, unhappy couples, don't I? Breakups and divorce. All right. Well, how about this? An important word for everybody is the word budget. Now, budget can be a verb, right? But it can be a noun as well. We often use it as a noun. And again, a lot of you know it, but I got some questions about budget this week. So budget is a plan, right? It's a plan for your money. Yeah, Carla's saying money. That's right. It's a plan for how much money you have, how much money you need, how much money you can spend on certain things, right? Rose is saying, what's the difference between separate? Well, separate and apart. Well, separate or separate can be a verb, Rosa. Separate and apart. That's a complicated answer, I say. Apart just means away from each other, Rosa. Separate can mean not connected in any way. Okay, so for example here, I'll answer that question just because I put the word separate up there. I have two separate problems. Okay. Now in this case, Rosa, separate. The word separate here, you can't say I have two apart problems. Separate is the adjective. Okay. Meaning these two problems are not connected. They're not related. Okay. That's the difference there. Okay. So getting back to budget. It's a plan for your money. I know nobody likes to budget. Budgets aren't fun. All right. Joy is saying you're from Bangladesh and you missed half an hour. I don't think you've missed half an hour. Wow, we've already been going for almost 20 minutes. Don't worry about it, Joy. You got lots of time. Okay. French Leo saying I budget my budget. Yeah, that's weird. You would make a budget, or you budget for the verb. Okay. Good. All right. So a plan for your money. You never have enough money at the end of the month. You need to be more organized and start a budget, right? To budget for your trip, right? Shari's saying budget for your trip. Okay. Now, one thing I like to talk about when we study vocabulary, when we're talking about words, new words, or even words that you're familiar with, it's important to look at or think about the words that are around the vocabulary word, or words that we use together, right? So one common expression that you'll see is a tight budget, right? A tight budget means you don't have a lot of extra money to play with, right? You have to be very, very careful. If you say something like, I am on a tight budget this month. So Christmas was just last month. And traditionally, I think, in North America at least, people in January are often on a tight budget because they have spent a lot of money in December, right? So January is a time of tight budgets. Rosa is asking, is it a collocation? It is. French Leo, I wouldn't say a tiny budget. No. We have a tiny budget? Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe. That would be okay. I think tight budget is a little bit more natural, though. Yeah, right. And one other thing that you can say, to be over budget, right? If you are over budget, that means that you have spent too much money. Ibrahim is saying, my cousin who lives in Canada has a tight living budget. Yeah, right. You're saying, is that correct? That's correct. Just put a T on tight there. My budget is low. Yeah, I don't, that sounds a little strange, Carla, to say my budget is, well, low budget together like that works, okay? If you say, we have a low budget, okay? But to say my budget is low, that sentence sounds a little weird to me, but. Yeah, right, French Leo saying I have a low budget, right? Good. All right, you guys are doing well. Good, good, good. Lots of good stuff coming in here in the chat. Let's look at a couple more here. You know what, I'm gonna skip that one. I'm gonna go here. Because there's lots of stuff for us to talk about today. Ibrahim, no, it's not too formal. No? All right, so the next word is compose. Yeah, Rosa, your budget's always tight. Yeah, my budget's pretty tight too, I think. So compose. Compose means to write, right? If you write something, you compose it. But we don't usually use it every day to talk about certain things. You don't usually say compose an email, right? Usually when we compose things, you can compose music, a song, a letter, a poem. Writing an essay is composing, but we don't usually say compose an essay. You composed a patriotic song. Yeah. Okay. So obviously a person who writes music is often called a composer, right? Who is a composer that you admire? That's my next question. Peter Petrov, you are actually composing good music? Yeah? There is a lot of, are you Russian, Peter Petrov? Because there is a lot of good Russian composers whose work I admire. Right? Mozart, Steve says. Yeah, right. So if you look at this, although she's an amazing singer, all of her songs were composed by other people. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. So you're talking about composed, to be composed as an adjective, a little bit different from compose as a verb, right? Well, this is good. Now, in this sentence, you can replace that word composed with written. Bulgarian, cool, awesome. Are there Bulgarian composers? Peter Petrov, tell me. Maybe I know them already, I'm not sure. Okay, so although she is an amazing singer, there's lots of amazing singers out there that don't actually compose their own songs. Fruit Queen is back, hey, and asking, compose means create. Yeah, it can mean to create or to write, exactly, that's right. You can compose a story, Esma says, absolutely. Yeah, good. Abraham, no, I wouldn't say a writer. You don't call a writer a composer. That's a little bit confusing. Okay. Yeah, if you say
narrator dialogue.
No, get rid of that. I keep hitting the wrong buttons. All right, composer. you guys are asking, is a writer of music, okay? But not a writer of books, right? You would just say an author. Author is a writer of books. Okay. Good stuff, guys. Let's look at a couple more, and then we'll get into a common mistake. Yassine, do you compose poems very well? Good. I do not compose poems very well myself. So I admire people who can compose poems. So I admire you. All right, so Carlo, you're a letter writer, a writer of letters. Next one is consist, and we're going alphabetically down this list from Unit 7, guys. I'm skipping some of the easier ones, and if you have questions going through the vocabulary list, you can keep sending me questions about that. This year, Bob got an Oscar for composing a music album. Perfect. Great sentence. That's a good one too, Luca. Yep. Okay, so consist. Consist means to be made of, right? To be made of something or to be formed from something. So an easy example here is the band consists of 4 musicians, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people together make the band. So the band consists of 4 musicians. All right? This is great. Some good example sentences coming in here. Now, again, another example of making sure you're paying close attention to the words before and after your new vocabulary is that word of, right? Consists of is usually the combination. That's the dependent preposition, right? We use of with consist. So I'm seeing some really good stuff coming in here. I did it again. Okay. I'm having a hard time with this keyboard today for some reason. So, where was that? Yeah. Shubham. Am I pronouncing your name right? So, I'm going to take his example and change it a little bit, but say an album consists of several songs, for example. So an album, many songs together, that's an album. So that's what an album consists of. That's right, the Beatles consisted of 4 musicians. Good one. The alphabet consists of 26 letters. Okay. Nor is in consist and contain, kind of the same thing, right? If I say, for example, my day mainly consists of, what does your day consist of? How is your day made up, right? What forms your day? Consists of going to work, drinking some coffee, and playing with my kids. Okay. My day mainly consists of going to work, drinking some coffee, and playing some kids. Now that's a very that's a very simplified version of my life, right? But that's what my day consists of. Right? So how about this? Finish this sentence for me, and then we'll move on to the next word. Okay. A healthy diet consists of, Abdullah saying water consists of oxygen and hydrogen. Good. What else do we got? Vivek, try to use of with consist, right? Exams consist of activities. That's good. Consists of, tea consists of tea. Yeah, sugar, milk. Yeah, Ibrahim, consist and consistently, very different. Yasin, there we go. That's a good answer. So something like that. A healthy diet consists of fruit and vegetables, right? That's a healthy diet. Good. Lucas says the human skull consists of 23 bones. Wow, that's very interesting. Thank you for that example. That's a good one. Okay. Let's look at a couple more, and then we're going to get into kind of the grammar focus here, guys, okay? Whatever we don't talk about, we can always continue with later. Yeah, tea consists, you need water for tea, for sure. Okay, so the next word that people ask me about is debut, right? Now, I want to talk about this one because of pronunciation, right? The word debut. Sometimes when a student sees this word, they pronounce it very, very incorrectly with like a debut or something, debut. But it's not debut, it's debut. Right? So a debut, very good, good example of how English is made up of many different languages, right? And certain words in English sound different from how they look because they were taken from another language, right? So this silent T is very French, I would say. Okay, very common in French to have a T at the end of a word that you don't hear it, right? So French Leo is saying debut is the beginning, right? Exactly, right? A debut. There we go. And it kind of sounds like this like that. Debut, right? Is a first appearance, right? The first time a TV show is on TV or on the internet, right? A debut actor, a debut movie, right? Kind of like a premiere. Carla, that's a good one. And I think you're in my head, Carla, because that's what I was going to say. I would say Shaun had his debut in Smrt live class last January. Okay? So my first time teaching online, live, was last January. Almost a year ago to the day, right? So that was my debut. All right. Fruit Queen is saying, where is Fruit Queen can't see the screen for some reason. Yeah, right. Can everyone else just confirm that you can see the screen? Because Fruit Queen is saying, where is Shaun? Hopefully everyone else can see me. Right. Yeah, well, this is Trump's formal debut. Yeah, right. His debut as president, right? Now, sometimes you see debut used as an adjective, right? You can see something like debut performance or debut album. I can't think of anybody who had a debut album in 2016. You guys can see me? Okay. Good. I'm glad. So Fruit Queen, I don't know why you can't see me. Depict Padcone debuts in Hollywood. XXX. Okay. That's a good one. I don't know who that is, but thank you, Nitesh. That's a good example. What was my example? Yeah, right. So I said something very similar to my example already. The musician is going to release her debut album, right? Her debut album on Tuesday. Debut, Carla. Yeah, that's right. Yasin is saying, how about the verb? It's the same thing. She will debut her new album next week. Interesting. Raid Mamoni is also saying, where is Shaun? I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on, guys. Some of you can't see me. I'm not sure. I'm right here. You guys you're freaking me out here, right? Because I'm right here. Yeah, I haven't gone anywhere. The band, yeah, good one. That's a good one. Taha Jamal is saying the band, let me put that up here. That's a good one. The band will debut a new song, maybe at their performance. That's right, Vivek. Yeah? Good. Okay. How many more do we have here? Yeah, let's talk about a couple more because we've got time. Why not? If we go a little long today, that's okay. I've got lots to do, but I know it's probably late for you guys, but that's okay. So depict, right? What are you guys talking about? 18th birthday, 15th birthday? Oh, okay, you're talking about like a debutante kind of thing? Maybe? High society? Sweet 16? All right, depict. Saif, maybe I'm a ghost. Yeah, and I don't realize I'm a ghost. I've been a ghost this whole time. All right. So, depict. Depict means to show or to describe in writing. Okay, so if you look at this kind of the painting you can see in the corner, I say the painting depicts a beautiful forest. It's not a beautiful forest. It's not a real forest. It depicts a beautiful forest, right? So to depict something means to show it or to describe it. We often use this to talk about art, as I said, paintings, right? So if I say some of the stuff in the chat is just bananas. Okay. So she admired a painting that depicted what? Whoops. Thank you, Google, for that. Admired a painting that depicted an ocean scene, something like that, right? So she's admiring this painting, and the painting is depicting a picture of the ocean. And French Leo, depict is like a description, right? Now, a depiction can be in writing as well. You can say the article depicted the musician as a very selfish person, for example. Sometimes people write articles about famous people, and in the article they are depicted to be a certain way, right? They're described. Good one, Nitesh, yeah. To represent. Good. Carl, I'm not sure what you're saying about poverty. I'm not sure if that's for me or for somebody else. The scene depicts a country life. Good. To represent. That's exactly right, Guy. That's good. Okay. So that's depict. How about we'll do two more. All right? And then we'll get into subject-verb agreement. So let's see, a couple quick ones. Again, because these are all things that you asked me about. So diverse is the next word. Diverse, many different kinds of something, various kinds. Different is the key word for diverse as an adjective, right? It's an adjective. Now, Chari, I wouldn't say I depicted everything I saw. If you're talking about I described everything I saw, depiction, to depict is usually more like in writing or in painting or art of some kind, okay? When you depict it, yeah, it's going to be visual, a painting, a drawing, or showing it in some other form of writing or art, a movie, a novel, something like that. India is a diverse nation. Humanity is diverse. We have diverse opinions. This is a very diverse class, Rosa said. Yes, maybe perhaps the most diverse class on the planet right here, right? We have a very diverse mix of nationalities in this class, right? I saw somebody's from Finland, somebody's from Pakistan, somebody's from Indonesia. We're from everywhere, right? Humans are diverse. Good. All right. What's next? What's next? Yeah. Okay. Exhibition. Exhibition. Or exhibit. Sometimes in North America we just say exhibit. And an exhibit is just a collection of art that is being shown, right? If you go to the art gallery, my brain is diverse. Yeah, maybe. That's good. So an exhibition is a collection of art that is being shown somewhere, right? So an exhibition could be a diverse collection of art, right? Many different kinds of art. Display, Blurry Face is saying. That's perfect. That's a great example, right? So these people are admiring a diverse array of paintings at an exhibition or exhibit. The museum has a great exhibition of art. The arts are diverse. Yeah? Your talents are diverse. A public display of works of art. That's the definition of exhibition. Thank you, Varka. That's exactly right. Okay, and where do we usually see exhibitions? We usually see them in an art gallery, right? There's an interesting exhibition going on at the art gallery. Now, Nor is saying, do you mean the place for the exhibition? No, and that's a good question. So the exhibition is usually the abstract idea of showing something, right? The place is usually a gallery, right? See, I knew that question was coming, right? I can see into your minds and your souls. Okay. So exhibitions or exhibits are often at museums or galleries, right? A gallery being a place where they show art, okay? Or museum, right? Or Instagram. So she is admiring a diverse series of art at a gallery, at an exhibition, right? Shaun's eyes are exhibiting angry. Well, you don't say angriness, say anger, Vivek. Anger. My eyes are showing anger towards you? I was trying to hide it. So there is a small gallery near my house that has about 20 paintings for sale. Okay, that's the gallery. Okay. You guys, some of your example sentences are just bananas. Okay, one more. This one's important because this one's a tough one for a lot of English students to pronounce because it's not an English word, okay? But it is a common word that we use when we talk about art and music, and that is genre, okay? Now again, technically, this is not an English word, and that's why a lot of students have trouble pronouncing this word, and I am not suggesting that I am pronouncing it the way it is pronounced in French. I am pronouncing it as the English word, which is, as I said, genre. Okay? You gotta have that soft G, right? It's not genre or genre, right? It's genre. Genre. French Leo, how am I doing? You can tell me. So a genre of something, is a kind of something, right? A different kind of music or art. What genre of film, what genre of music do you like? Jindy is asking, bananas equals crazy? Yes. If I say you guys are bananas, it means you're crazy. French Leo, you're laughing at my genre? Yeah? Well, that's how we say it in English. Okay? So I think drama is my favorite movie genre. Ooh, that almost rhymes. It almost sounds like a poem. That's pretty good, Vivek, yeah. You're saying, can I spell it? Well, it's right here, guys, okay? Right there. That's the word, genre, okay? Type, meaning gender, yeah, it's definitely connected to that. So what genre of music do you like? What genre of film do you like? And Peter's saying, kind of, exactly right, yeah? So I would say I like all types of movies, but I think drama is my favorite genre. Yeah? Good. Poetry is your genre? Poetry is a genre of literature. That's right. Horror, study helper likes. Noir, film noir. Well, there you go. That's some more French. See, that's the thing about English. We like to steal words from other languages, right? Yink. We're going to take that. Oh, I like that word. We're going to take it. Now it's English, right? And this is an example of that. Film noir, right? Noir, meaning black in French, right? All right, but film noir is a genre of film, right? Rose is saying it's a kind of type. That's exactly right. Good stuff, guys. Okay. Let's finish up here with vocabulary because I've been talking for a long time about this. Let's move on to the next thing, okay? So last week, I gave you a mistake of the week, okay? The mistake of the week was about subject-verb agreement. Here, let me get in here. Let me go all the way down here. The mistake of the week was about subject-verb agreement, and since last week's class, a lot of people have been asking me questions about this topic for help, for clarification, right? So I want to help you understand this. Now, I have done a class on this in kind of the higher level class, but I think it's important to talk about it in every level. Okay? You guys are still talking about genres. Cartoon? Cartoon is a genre? Yeah, I guess so. Thriller? Comedy? Drama? Dramedy? Okay. So, subject-verb agreement. Vark is saying subject and verb must agree, and that is right. Okay, so you want your subjects and your verbs to agree. But of course, like, what does that mean, to agree, right? Well, it means very simply, okay, a singular subject. If your subject is singular, meaning there's one, right, then it needs a verb in the singular form, right? And a plural subject needs a verb in the plural form. Okay, Varka, you taught this? It's easy. Good. As I said, this is an intermediate level class. Okay, now before we talk about how easy it is, this is easy, and that's why it's important for even higher level students to consider it, because this is a common mistake, not for low-level students only, not just for intermediate students, but for high-level students as well, okay? Because this mistake is not something that's going to affect the meaning of your sentence, okay? If you mix up the conjugation of your verb in a sentence, people will probably still understand you, but they will notice this mistake because it sounds very strange to a native English speaker, okay? So it's one of these tricky things where it's an easy concept. People think it's easy, and therefore they don't think about it too much, and therefore they make mistakes with it all the time, even high-level students, okay? But it is a simple concept. Single subject, single verb. Plural subject, plural verb. Absolutely. And they should They should agree. Okay? So let's talk about that. Singular subject, singular verb. Now let's look at a very basic example. The student goes to the library after school. Okay? Now student is the subject and student is singular. Now the good trick about subject-verb agreement is think about the pronoun. Okay? If you think about the pronoun that you would use, it can help you make sure that your subject and verb agrees. So student is he or she. Vivek, what you say, Shaun? Oh, is that subject? That's subject-verb agreement. Shaun hates me. That's a good one. Not true at all, but it's those your subject and your verbs agree. So thank you for that. All right. So the student, he or she, goes, right? You need that S there, right? You want that S on go because student is he or she. Okay? He goes late. Children are smart. Right. Yeah, children, you can't say children is smart. Exactly, right. Okay. So that's singular and singular. Okay? Simple. You want to make sure that they agree, right? Yeah, look at that. They agree. Wonderful. Beautiful. Plural subject, plural verb, same idea. Okay? The students, now you've got that S there, right? Now it's plural. The students do their homework, right? So in this case, again, if you think about the verb, students, the subject is they. So they do, right? He does, they do. If you think about that, then you'll avoid mistakes with subject-verb agreement. Now, study helper saying, if it is a pronoun, is it S or P? Now that's, okay. That's an important question. It depends on the pronoun. So I, you, he, she, it, one, these are singular, right? Okay? These are singular, right? Well, you can sometimes be plural. They, we, and sometimes, as I said, you, which is kind of a tricky one. Those are plural, right? So these pronouns need a plural form verb. Right. So Carla says that sometimes students think the verb is plural for the third person singular, and that's really when the mistakes happen more than anything else, right? This is the mistake that we see as teachers. He go, right? Or he like, right? But you have to put that, you need that S on there, right? And the reason that is the problem is really these are the different ones, right? You say I go, you go, we go, they go, but he, she, it, and one goes. Now there are exceptions, okay? Now again, this is a simple concept, but there are so many little tiny rules and tricky things that we're going to talk about today. Nora teases Vivek a lot. Good subject-verb agreement. Oh. Yeah, right. So you're talking about police, right? So it can be different in different languages, right? But in English we say the police are. Yeah. Okay. So Shubham Gupta is saying, is you singular? Well, you is kind of the tricky one. Good question. You is singular if you're talking to one person, okay? So for example, Shubham, if I'm talking just to you, yeah, then you are singular. But if I'm talking to everyone who's watching this, if I'm talking to all of you, then it's plural, right? But to be honest, it doesn't really matter because it's still going to be the same conjugation, right? you're not really going to mess that up because it's you are or you are, right? It's the same. Okay, good question. Now, where it gets trickier, well, where it gets trickier is there are certain words or structures that students get a little bit confused about. And we'll talk about a couple right now. Now, last week, we talked about this, indefinite pronouns, right? Indefinite pronouns, this was the mistake of the week last week. And since then, students have kind of contacted me from the class and asked questions. Right, Steve Lynn is saying when the subject is uncountable, it's trickier. Yeah, right. But again, that's why I like it. That's why I love English, right? If it was easy, I don't know, I wouldn't have a job, right? I'd be working somewhere else, Starbucks maybe, which is great. So there's nothing wrong with Starbucks. All right. But I like the complexity of the language. Johnny's saying fish is plural. Depends how you use it, right? If you're talking about the animal or you're talking about the meat, right? Yeah, it depends. Okay, so let's talk about these because this is what we talked about last week. This is what you had questions about, okay? So indefinite pronouns, these guys, right? Everything, something, someone, somebody, everything, everyone, everybody, no one, nobody. All right, nothing, no one, neither, either, each. All of these words are singular. Alejandro, you are single, not singular. That's a good one. A school of fish? Yeah. Well, that's something entirely different. That's a separate topic, schools of fish. All right, so these words are singular, guys, okay? Indefinite pronouns are singular, and that's where a lot of students make mistakes, and that's why I tried to trick you last week, right? They need a singular form verb. So this sentence, everyone in the town helps clean up after the street party. So everyone is your subject, right? It's singular. Helps, there's your verb, and you need the S because everyone is third person singular, okay? Everyone in the town helps clean up. Now, students get confused sometimes because of the amount of information that's between the subject and the verb. Sometimes there's lots of stuff in there, right? Rosa saying you always trick us. I always try to trick you, Rosa. Yeah, it's harder than you think, okay? So if you see phrases or clauses in between the subject and the verb, don't be tricked by that, right? Always find your subject, find your main verb, and make sure that they agree. And where am I going? Where did that go? Ah, there we go. Take that away. So everyone in the town, everyone helps, right? Everyone helps clean up, okay? Just take that phrase out of there, and you'll see that it's singular, singular, okay? No one, Jindi, no S on that. On my plate, Vivek says, fish are waiting for me. Only, only if you have more than one whole fish, okay? All right, I'll jump out for Vivek there. He's saying this sentence. On my plate, fish are waiting for me. Well, possibly, Vivek. But if you're saying this, if I say fish are waiting for me, that means I have at least 2 whole fish, okay? I need the whole fish, and I need 2 or more, right? If you just say fish is waiting for me, which still is kind of a strange thing to say, but it's a good sentence. Fish is waiting for me. here you're just talking about the meat of fish. Okay. Now going back to this example, everyone helps clean up. As we said, I took that phrase out to clarify. Okay. Pronoun antecedent agreement. We'll talk about that another time, study helper. That's a good question, but it's too much to talk about in this class. Okay. So let's look at the next example. One of the people that I met was a musician. Now again, the same thing. This is where students make mistakes. So one, that's your subject. Okay. Your verb is way over there as was, right? Your main verb is was here. Okay? All of this stuff in the middle is not important for subject-verb agreement because it's extra. It can be taken out. Okay? So, of the people, just remember this. This is an important thing to remember. I'm going to hop out again. You know what? How about this? I'm going to copy this sentence. Oops. And bring it over here. Okay. Let's look at this in the notes. This is what we call a prepositional phrase. Okay? Prepositional phrase. So a preposition like of, about, between, this can never be the subject of a sentence. Okay? So if you just take that away, because that's not your subject, that's just extra information. Okay? That I met is a clause, right? That's an adjective clause. And again, that's not connected to the subject and the main verb of that sentence. This could be removed. So one was a musician. One was a musician. That's your main clause right there. One meaning person. French Leo, can you omit that? Sure. Of course you can. Good. Right. Yeah, now Steve is making a good point. Now this is interesting because I think sometimes we say that this is a writing lesson, but it's not. It's about speaking as well. Because obviously when you write a sentence, and that's what Steve is saying in the chat, is it's easier to see your mistake when you write it. But it's very easy to make the mistake when you're speaking, right? So you have to be careful of that. So look at this sentence. One of the people, or one was the musician, one of the people. This is just a phrase, right? Don't worry about people being plural, because that's not the subject. There's your subject right there. Okay? One of the people that I met was a musician. Main verb, subject over here. And you can put as much information in here as you want. One of the people that I met at the party across from my house last night was a musician. It doesn't matter how much information you put in there. If you can find the subject and find the verb, then you'll be less likely to make that mistake. Of course, don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes are great. I love mistakes, right? To verb, how to differentiate. Not sure, Ahmed, what your question is. If you're talking about this verb here, now I know that that's not the main verb because it's part of this, what we call dependent clause, if that's your question. Kai was saying mistake of the week. You think I'm angry? No, I'm not. You've never seen me angry, guys. Right, mistakes don't make me angry. I love mistakes. Remember we found out last week that I get stronger the more mistakes you make, right? I love mistakes. Rosa, you don't see your mistakes, you see other people's mistakes? Well, of course. I mean, I think that's everybody. I don't see my mistakes, right? You guys sometimes see my mistakes, and I don't notice them, right? So that's normal. Milena says, because Shaun consumes mistakes, right? My diet consists of mistakes and vegetables. Okay. Jose is saying was is incorrect. In what sentence? What are we talking about? Was, were. Well, was is singular, right? And were is for plural or for you, right? Mistake vampire. That's me. Yeah. You guys are funny. Okay, so we're gonna do two more things. You're not going anywhere yet. Or I guess you could. You can just turn me off and walk away. But I'm gonna keep talking here. I'm gonna show you one more example because this is, where am I going? This is what we saw last week, right? And it tripped a few people up. And we said neither of the songs is my favorite, right? So again, neither is a singular subject. And again, students sometimes see that plural noun there and get confused with the verb there. But there's your subject. Of the songs, that's not the subject. Peter, I think you switched over to Russian there. Ukraine? Is that the first word? Was the first word Ukraine? Tell me if I'm right. All right, so this is what I'd like you guys to do. You're not finished yet, but we'll keep it simple. I want you to finish these sentences. I'm going to disappear from the screen for 3 minutes. I'm going to put the music on, and I want you to finish these sentences. Everything in the art gallery, nobody in my class, each of the bands, and something about this song. Okay? Finish the sentence, put your answers in the chat, and then we'll look at some examples together. Then we'll do the mistake of the week so that you guys don't hate me, right? And then that'll be it. So we'll stick around for about 10 more minutes, okay, guys? All right, so music is coming on. Finish these sentences with your own ideas. Get creative, okay? And put your answers in the chat. Go for it. Good stuff, guys. All right, lots of good stuff in the chat. All right, let's look at some of these together. Now, how about, whoops, let me go back there. Let me punch out of this, copy it. I'm going to go over to the notes, and I'm going to put your answers on the screen here. Okay, so everything in the art gallery. What did we say for that one? Let me find an answer. Everything in the art gallery. What do we have? Oh, wow, there's so much to go through. Tahal Jamal says, everything in the art gallery was boring. Was boring. Good. Okay. S.L. Slanaze. I don't know how to pronounce that with the S-double-L. Slanaze? Slanaze? Everything in the art gallery was admired by me. You could say that. A little bit strange for that passive voice. Slanaze. Milena, everything in the art gallery is so impeccable. Good. All right. And Francisco kept it simple, said everything in the art gallery is awesome. Everything is awesome. Okay. A great song. Everything is awesome. Good. And you guys have lots of good answers there. Chari says looks vintage. More than one person said is boring. Some people not big fans of art here. Carla says is expensive. Great. All right, what about nobody? Ahmed says nobody in my class is silent. Interesting. But that works, right? Because you got that singular verb there. That's a good one. What else do we have? Nobody in my class. Milena says is perfect. That's right. Nobody in my class is perfect. Nobody is perfect in any class, right? Alejandro says nobody in my class is clever. Hopefully not talking about this class. ABM, nobody in my class has ADHD. Good one. Nobody in my class is a student. Wow. That's an interesting one. Nobody in my class understands the meaning of genre. Yeah, well, I think, how about French Leo? I think they can understand it. Nobody in my class can pronounce genre. Okay. Yeah, and that's good. All right, a couple more. Each of the bands. Each of the bands. What else do we got here? Where is an answer? Okay, no, this is a good one. I'm going to put French Leo, I'm going to put yours on there. Each of the bands, what do you say, has a low budget. Good one. Each of the bands has a tight budget. Good one. Each of the bands, Chari says, has a female singer. Good one. What else do we have? Okay. That's good. Now what about the last one? Something about this song. Ahmed says, I don't think you say torches my soul. I think you mean touches, maybe. Something about this song. Ben Sheik Bilal says, makes me feel sad. Right? Something about this song makes me feel sad. And that's a great example. Okay? Something about this song reminds me of Shaun's smile. Okay. I wonder what song it is. I don't know. Adele, maybe? I'm not sure. Ibrahim, you did the best examples? Okay. What did Rosa say that was so funny? Okay, so this is good. How about this? We're going to end there with a subject-verb agreement. There's more to talk about, and we'll talk more about this in another class. We spent a lot of time on vocabulary today. and didn't do as much on subject-verb agreement as I would like to have done, but it's time for the mistake of the week. Mistake of the week. Okay? So let's go down here. We'll do this quickly, and then you guys will be free. Okay? Mistake of the week. There we go. Whoop. So if anybody's new, Abraham, I'm not even sure what you mean. You enjoyed it? Okay. So mistake of the class maybe, hopefully. Okay, so don't go away yet. We're not finished yet. Mistake of the week, okay, is, as most of you guys know, this is how it works. I'm going to put a sentence up here on the screen. It's a common mistake that students make. I want to see who can find the mistake the fastest, okay? Some of you guys are professionals. You've been doing this a long time. Abraham, yeah, I know. I understand you now, the lesson. Good. The pressure is on, Carla says. Okay. I'm going to put the sentence up there. Try to find the mistake as quickly as you can. Whoever finds it first is my favorite student. Whoever finds it first, I admire. Okay? You guys ready? I'm going to put the music on. You've got 5 seconds. There's the sentence. Go for it. All right, good stuff. Lots of stuff came in, and let me see, who was the fastest on the draw? We got a lot of answers coming in, but who nailed it here first? Let me see. Ibrahim, Nasser, you got it. He says no Ben. Yeah. So yeah, you're the fastest. Good for you. Nice work. Okay. A few people came in just after him, and great. So this is the sentence. Since I moved to this city, I have already been lost my wallet 2 times. A very common mistake that students make, and that is just kind of mixing up that passive and active voice. Okay? The problem there is, well, where are we? There. Right? I have already been lost my wallet 2 times. Now the problem with that is, as I said, you're kind of mixing up the active and the passive voice. You're putting that past participle of been in there when you already have this verb here. Okay? So I have been lost, or I have lost my wallet. You've got to choose, right? I mean, what are you trying to say? Are you talking about losing your wallet, or are you talking about you being lost? Okay? So there are 2 ways to change it. All right? So just take it out. Since I moved to this city, I have already lost my wallet 2 times. Nora is saying, what about already? No, already's fine, because what this says to me, what this already means, I think, is you haven't lived there for very long. Maybe since I moved to the city, I've already lost my wallet 2 times. It means maybe I've only lived in this city for a short amount of time, right? And you're saying, I can't believe it. It's happened 2 times. It's surprising. and you say, I've already done, this has already happened to me twice, okay? Now that works. Yeah, that's fine, because already is the adverb there, yep. Not sure what you mean where by me is there. No, Kamran, I wouldn't say had already lost because that would put it before you moved to the city. Okay? Okay. Yeah, this person's very forgetful or very, is a dreamer. He's got his head in the clouds, right? But that's if you want to talk about your wallet. If you want to talk about you, then you can take that wallet out and say, since I moved to this city, I have already been lost 2 times. Again, that means you have lost your way. You don't know where you are, right? So 2 different things. You have to decide what is the subject, what is the agent of the verb, what is the object. Okay. Benchik is saying you have to master these lessons. Fruit Queen, you got it there. Good for you. Money is no object. Yeah, right. Except for in grammar, then money can be an object when you're speaking grammatically. Okay? So good work, guys. That was great. I'm going to pop out here because we have gone long today, which is fine because this is one of my highlights of the week. I love coming in here and spending some quality time with people I admire. Yeah? And now French Leo is saying, since I moved to the city, I had lost. Yeah, no, you'd say when I moved to the city, I had lost. Because remember, since means the thing happens after that, right? But I had lost would put it before in time. Okay? All right. Bencheck, few and a few. Put that question, if somebody put that question on the Facebook group this week, and we'll talk about that in the group. Don't have time for that one today because it's not really connected to the lesson. Okay, so another time for that question. But it's a good question. Okay. Again, so it's always a pleasure. Thank you guys for coming, and obviously premium subscribers. Thanks for sending in the homework. And let me know if you have any questions about any of my comments. And if you have more questions about vocabulary or anything we do in class, keep sending me your messages. If it's your first time watching this class, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you like us. Make sure you tell your friends, tell your mom, and bring everybody here. And keep practicing your English, obviously, yeah? And we'll be back here next time. And of course, keep watching the other classes from Josh and Neil, right? And Abby. Yeah, it's the weekend. It's time for rest. Yeah? Okay. Okay, guys. Thanks once again for coming. It's always a pleasure. Keep practicing. Join the Facebook group. Learn English on Facebook. Keep those questions coming. Chari says, have an amazing rest of the day. I couldn't have said it better myself. Bye-bye, and we'll see you next time. All right, guys? See ya. Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want the full experience of being a student in a Smrt Live class with things like homework and teacher feedback, follow the link and become a premium subscriber. Also, if you want to see more videos from this class, check out our playlist.